Hey everyone, I'm Vikram Salunke and welcome to the Web Application Penetration Testing and Secure Coding. So this is the video number 29 and we will start with session. As we saw in the last video, we can store the information in cookies which is stored at the client side. But sometimes it is necessary to save information on the server side because of the sensitive data such as passwords, authentication keys, or to hide application logic, etc. So for that we use session. Let's see how session works. So this is your computer and you want to visit vulnerable.app. So you send request to that server. So vulnerable app creates a cookie with variable session ID and value AA12. Also vulnerable.app creates session ID on a server side which contains variables and values. So for session ID AA12, the variable name is user and value is Vikram, and another variable name is password and value is user12345. Then server saves the session ID inside a session database and server sends the cookie back to the computer, and as we saw earlier, that cookie gets saved inside a cookie jar. Now let's see what happens with the further request. So you again want to visit vulnerable.app, and as we saw earlier, your web browser sends a cookie with the request to the vulnerable.app. After receiving the cookie, web server matches the cookie session ID with its session database. So as we can see, the session ID in the cookie is AA12, as well as in the session database there is a session ID AA12. So the server will use that session ID for any further processing. So now let's see what happens when server receives requests for more than one computer. For computer 1, the session ID inside the cookie has a value AA12. It sends the cookie with the request to the web server. Then web server matches the session ID value with its session database, and after that it takes the session ID and use that for further processing. Okay. After that, second user wants to send the request to the web server. It has a session ID inside a cookie with value 78xy. So your browser sends that cookie with a request to the web server. After receiving the cookie, web server matches the session ID's value with the session database. So as we can see, 78xy is inside the session database. So server uses the values from the session ID for further processing. So that's it for this video. If you have any doubts, any question, then please let me know in the comment section below and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you.